ready to go. We are leaving pretty much now. We are just getting some cameras and stuff ready, and then we are heading off. We have to leave pretty much now so that we can make the tide window for the Narrows, so that we can hit the shallowest part, the part that dries out. We can hit that when we've got a 5 metre tide. So we should have plenty of water underneath us, but we've got to make sure we arrive at the right time.
Brupeg was a sunken fishing trawler that was stripped out and ready for the scrapyard. She's just completed a 10-year rebuild that's brought her back to life. With the help of volunteers and funded by our Patreons, community and subscribers, she'll be crewed by passionate people from around the world. If you'd like to be involved and support the project, please consider joining us on Patreon or subscribe to the channel. There's a link in the description below.
Right, so we'll climb down, we'll get the engine going. We need to work on the sand seal, so greasing up the sand seal. So that's the priority for this morning, is making sure that we've got heaps of grease in there to wear out whatever it is that's causing that noise. So, hydraulics on. Plenty of coolant. Engine oil's good. Right, this is what we need to sort out, so I'm going to give it quite a few. Yeah, there's a bucket load of grease in there now. Right, gearbox oil is good. We'll keep checking that on the way. Electrons. Engine systems. Fuel pump powered up. Fire in the hole.
Last time off this morning, and we head to Yeppoon.
Okay, I'm just going to reverse. Lovely, I can see that on the cameras. Toodaloo, Gladstone. Right, I need to do Brupeg. Yeah. Just requesting transit through the harbour from the marina to the southern end of the Narrows.
So past the marina and heading up to the Narrows this morning. We do currently have one vessel inbound to GLNG. Please stand by on run 3 and give all boats the white bird.
Copy that.
So this is our first sort of real trip. We're going to be heading to Yeppoon, and from Yeppoon we're going to make our way up to Early Beach, or the Wet Sundays. Along the way we hope to work with cadets and continue to work on the boat. Thank you, Gladstone, for all your help and your hospitality. It's been great to hide from cyclones here. It's one of the real tests or trials for Brupeg, is a longer trip, pushing the motor a little bit, anchoring. We're going to be testing the anchoring system. We're going to be testing ourselves. We're going to be testing the cat. We're going to see how I go with my health. A lot to trial during this trip. One of the things we're both a little bit nervous about is going through the Narrows. The Narrows are a shallow passage. That means we don't have to go around the outside of Curtis Island. You can see here on the map. For a boat like ours, we have to hit it on the high tide, the shallowest part. So that's what we're doing today, is we're trying to time that. On the other side, assuming we get through with no problem, we'll be anchoring on the other side. We may anchor for a night, or we may do 2 nights, just depending on how we're feeling about systems and whether the sand seal is all sorted out and all systems are go.
Back out of the engine room. I'm going to be well to the left of it. Yeah, it sort of splits into 2 channels. This is what happens when you get a little bit of tide. So we normally would be doing about 7 knots at this speed, and we're doing 9.2, so we've got a bit of tide pushing us sort of forward. The port facilities here are pretty impressive. You've got this big concrete runway out to a loading dock over here. Out the back. It's a bit sort of blowy and choppy. It's probably maybe 20 knots from behind, but we're in pretty, like, there's chop, but there's no real swell, so we haven't bothered putting the stabilizers down, so you can sort of see cruising with them up. Yeah, we don't need it, and they're probably going to be more hassle than it's worth when we go through the Narrows LNG port over there. Lovely, lovely. I've just done another engine room check, so because we had an issue with the sand seal making that noise probably from when we were doing water blasting or sanding or something like that, we're putting more grease through. So every 15 minutes we've been going down putting a bit more grease through, and it seems to have cleared itself up. So whatever it was is pushed out of that sand seal, so we can probably go back to 30-minute checks now.
As we got closer to the Narrows, the wind was still blowing maybe 15 to 20 knots, but it didn't really affect the water because there were so many mangroves around.
Look at you, out and about, fluffy dog.
This is so that we get Happy Cat in an episode at least once every 3 months, or else Pat sends us a strongly worded email.
I thought it might be a boat, eh?
All ships co-leading, APLG to the marina. All ships, Bruce, departed QC4, GL4, with 8.
So where we're heading today, it's called the Narrows, and it's between Curtis Island and the mainland of Australia. It's not very wide, it's definitely not very deep. At low tide, it dries out completely and you can walk across from the mainland across to the island. In fact, a few years back they used to take cattle across there, so it's pretty hard sand, hard sort of solid ground, solid enough to walk cattle across. It does get fairly big tides, so it gets today we've got a 5 metre tide. And what we have to do is time it, so the actual shallow part is about 4 miles long, and we have to time it so that we arrive pretty much in the middle, bang on high tide. So we arrive at the Narrows just before high tide, we get to the middle right on high tide, and then we exit just after high tide. And that's because otherwise you're basically pushing into the tide, or you literally don't have enough water under you. So the rule of thumb that the marina says is it dries by 1.5 metres. So you need the depth of your boat, Brupeg's case that's 2.1 metres, plus 1.5 metres of drying height for the sand, that's 3.6 metres, and we've got a 5 metre tide. So we should have a bit over a metre under us, 1.4, 1.6, something like that under us. So we should have plenty of water, but it's just we've never been through this before, so it is a wee bit nerve-wracking to make sure that we get it perfect. So we're the red boat just there. The red dotted line when that turns up is our path. The blue is where we want it to go. Then up here you can see starts to get basically quite shallow, and we'll see that at the moment we're in 10.4 metres, so we can see down here, if we zoom out, there we go, 7.8 metres. So we've got a little bit of tide on top of those numbers, so we can reverse engineer how much water over and above these numbers we should have based on that.
As you'll see, the sides of the Narrows get progressively skinnier and skinnier until there's not a lot of room between Brupeg and the mangroves.
Depths of silence where echoes remain. You were the sunrise and I was the rain. A collision of souls opposing in flight. I was the darkness, you yearned for the light. Now you're gone, and I'm losing my mind, losing my mind, I'm losing my mind. Why did you cut me up, bring me out, and leave me high and dry? You were the laughter that kept me alive. You were hello, and I was goodbye. An ember that flickered, that faded away. You were the summer, I was that same old shit in me. Now you're gone, and I'm losing my mind, losing my mind, losing my mind. Now you're gone. Why did you cut me up?
the shallow area here.
That's our boat there.
And you'll see 4.1 under the keel.
That's our depth. Oh.
0 right now.
You might notice every now and again our depth sounder goes to 0. That's because we're having some weird compatibility issues with our North Star nav system.
We've got a little bit of tide, so we're averaging, ignore that, the GPS is having a bit of a fritz, but we're averaging about sort of 6.8, 7 knots, something like that. We're slowing right down, so normally we wouldn't be doing 7 knots at that speed. So we're just having to balance that tide pushing us forward.
So you can see we're in the shallow area here.
0.5.
So at low tide, that's the measurement, and then over here,
And that's, well, so
we've got 4.6.
that's all we've got. Yeah.
So the tide is doing its job.
Yeah. And there should be a green this side of it in the channel somewhere. You just can't quite see it.
There's the red over by the bush.
Yeah, almost in the trees.
I'm seeing the green one.
Oh, where's the green one?
Straight, I think that's what I'm seeing, straight.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Oh fuck, that's wide as. So we're now in an area that should have about 2 meters sticking out of the water at dead low tide, and we've got 2.9 underneath the very lowest part of the boat.
It's 2.6.
That's good because the shallowest part is about 2 meters, 2.5 meters, and if we've got 2.5 meters under us right now, up here somewhere is quite shallow. I can't see any markers. 2.6. So straight between these two, and then hugging the reds.
We've got 1.6 under the keel at the moment, and that's a little bit taller than me. There's a Jess under the boat at the moment.
It's 1.9, so it's Jess in high heels.
Very high heels. What's the marker?
2 meters, we're about there. We're going past that. It should be just over there somewhere. This side.
Oh, it's not a green, it's a yellow.
It's a yellow flashing buoy. They might have taken it away because it's water monitoring. So 3.3. Okay, so we're just coming past that red, and I've got the next red. So we're there.
Yeah, you're straight to the middle of it now, and then you hug.
Okay, so we're going past the red now, so that's the shallowest part where we are right now. We've got 2.4 meters. We've just gone through this. There's another deep hole there. So there's a shallow part. And the up here looks relatively shallow, but I think over here it is. I tried to move this. I think over here it starts to ease off again.
Being the first time we've taken Brupeg through the Narrows, it was a little bit sort of high stress moment when we were coming up to some of the areas where we could have gone multiple directions, but we had to stay within the channel, and the channel wasn't necessarily super clearly marked.
So we're at 1.2 meters of water.
And you can see just how tight those mangroves get to the side of the channel. The channel where we are has enough clearance to get Brupeg through just, but you wouldn't want to go much bigger than Brupeg. And we were super conscious of depth, so Jess is calling out the depth every couple of seconds just so that we make sure we don't go out of the channel.
0.5. 0.5. 0.5. 0.5. Nothing. 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 0.5.
Pushing
0.5. 0.5. 0.2. 0.5. 0.5. 0.9.
Alright.
We're out of it. 0.8. Well done. 0.8.
We were approaching the scariest bit of the trip. This is where it's the shallowest, it's also the skinniest, and it's where they used to cross cattle from one side of the estuary to the other. So it was the part that we really needed to get right. This is it coming up here. You can see the signs on the right hand side. That indicates where the cattle used to go across the sort of hardened area between the mangroves on the left and the island on the right.
0.2.
You can hear Jess calling out depth, 0.2. That's 0.2 of a metre, or 20 centimetres, 8 inches underneath the boat.
Nothing. 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 0.5.
As we were approaching this narrowest part, the tide started flowing against us, so we really had to put the hammer down to make sure that we met our time markers that we had to be at certain places by. So to do this, we were pushing sort of 8.5, 9 knots through this area whilst we had 8 inches of water underneath the boat. It was pretty hectic.
Going out on that point.
2.1. Go, crossing. Nothing, 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 nothing. 2.2. Here it is. 1.2. 1.1. 1.8.
Once over the crossing, we could tell we were in the right channel. The depth dropped right down. We were sort of seeing 3 to 4 meters of water. We knew that we would be good from this point onwards.
So handy with the
5.6. Right down.
okay.
Perfect. Go to your work. Oh, 2.2. This is a bit of fun, isn't it? Do we go around that island, don't we?
Yeah, to the left hand side of the island.
Now we need to figure out an anchor spot. So how far are we, Dave?
I think we are somewhere in there.
Okay. And your ideal spot for anchoring was?
The wind's in that direction. I'm thinking of anchoring somewhere in there so it's sheltered from all of the breeze.
The boat travels differently with some diesel in the back. We haven't
Yeah.
actually experienced that before.
No.
The bump goes sort of
Bump down?
Down, yeah, it
Yeah.
does. There's a lot we don't know about this boat yet.
We'll be getting pushed by the tide. So we're doing 1260 RPM and we're doing 9.1 knots. So we wouldn't go that fast at that RPM normally, so we're getting, basically the tide is heading with us and pushing us out. And it also means that's why the waves are a wee bit flatter, is because the wind and the waves are heading in the same direction now, so the weather just calms down a bit.
Come over here. Oh, good girl. You're a good girl. Can you come back in here? Make a run for it, darling. Good girl. Yeah, anyway, if they've said that's good anchoring, that's alright.
Okay, so the end of that island, so in this stretch here, I'm wondering if we just anchor in here.
Yeah, why don't we? Well, we might have to move, but let's just try it.
So over here, but 6.5 meters of low tide, I reckon we just throw an anchor in there.
Alright, that sounds good. 4.3. Motor is dropping down, 79. Someone hit there. So that's
Oh, actually, it's a bit
Okay.
deep.
11 under our pump. After checking the forecast, we had to wait out a couple of rough weather days. So at the northern end of the Narrows, we found a good spot to anchor, spun the boat around and headed into the wind so that we can put the anchor down.
Once we got a reasonable amount of chain out, we locked the anchor winch off, put the boat in reverse and give it a bit of a haul to dig that anchor in, and then we decide how much scope we're going to put out, so we either let some chain out or pull it back in so that we've got the right amount of chain out for our depth. Discussing anchors on boats is a bit like discussing religion or politics at a dinner party. Everyone has their opinion and everyone's absolutely certain that they're right. When it comes to anchoring, there's many different schools of thought. In our experience, it comes down to blade area. The more blade area you have, the more chance you've got of holding, i.e. get a bigger anchor, you'll drag less. Brupeg has an enormous anchor. It's 112 kgs. Normally a boat of Brupeg size would have an anchor 55 to 75 kgs, so Brupeg is well over-spec'd on the anchor. The other side of things is chain. The heavier the chain, the more chance you've got of your anchor staying put into the ground and not dragging. Brupeg has 16mm short link chain. What this means is we have a really serious anchor system on the boat, so we can handle a lot more weather with a lot less stress than what would normally be the case.
Alright, thanks. I have some lunch.
Yeah, sounds good.
Ah, there we go, my darling. What a good job he did. Yay. We've got a breeze out there.
VMR Gladstone, VMR Gladstone, VMR Gladstone. This is vessel Brupeg. Over.
Brupeg, this is Marine Rescue Gladstone, go ahead.
Thank you. Just want to let you know that we've arrived in the Narrows and just need to log off. Thank you. Over.
Brupeg, this is Marine Rescue Gladstone. I'll take you off the log. Thanks for logging on. Have a good rest.
big app.